Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Hi. So today, I'm Amy Surman, and today I am doing a Facebook Live video on how to make Christmas baubles. Not the strangest thing that's happening over the last few months, me talking about Christmas in June. So I'm just going to wait for a few people to start signing up. We're live on Facebook this morning, and we're also live on YouTube. So I'm recording to both at the same time. I've got you both set up in front of me there. And this is what we're going to be looking at. Look, nice Christmas baubles. Fantastic. I want to make sure that you guys on YouTube will be able to see what I'm doing actually, because you might not be able to see as easily. Hopefully you'll be able to see there. Fantastic. Great. Good morning. Hi, Heather. I am definitely getting them in early, Heather. Well, while we've got time on our hands and we can't go out socialising as much, we can be sat at home making our Christmas baubles. Heather, I think you've started very early before anyway. I think you usually start about summertime, don't you? Good. Well, I'm going to get started. We've got 5 people watching us on Facebook Live. We've got someone logging into YouTube as well. But again, as always, I know that people enjoy watching these back later when it's more convenient for them. So great. Thank you for joining me. Okay. So like I said, I'm Amy Surman of the Oxford Bead Shop or Amy Surman School of Jewellery. And at the beginning of the pandemic, I started offering Facebook Live videos, and I'm going to continue because I really enjoy doing them. And I think it's a great way for me to show you all the things that we get up to here in the shop and the sorts of things that we make and what we can offer. So today is all about Christmas baubles. Morning, it takes longer to log in now. I can see you and not make you big for ages, not make you... Sorry, Jan, I'm just reading your message. I'm getting sidetracked here. Oh, does it? And not make you big for ages. Hi, good morning, everybody. Great, we've got lots of people joining us. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Okay, yes, Christmas baubles. So, what we are going to be looking at is how we put together these wonderful things. Look at these, okay? So that's what we're going to be doing this morning. We're going to have a little look at these. So I have in the shop kits that have everything you need to make up one of these Christmas baubles. And it comes nicely packaged like this at £9.50. So it's got everything you need in there. The only thing you would need to add to the kit is a pair of scissors. You may have... probably have got lots of beads at home that you could use to make these up. If you're a beader, you probably have things that you might be able to use. So what are you saying, Jan? So it said you come up small with no sound, but it takes longer, lets you click. Oh, I see. So it's different logging in now because I've changed over where I'm running the Facebook Lives from. So, oh, I see. Thanks, Jan, for letting me know that. Yes, so I sell the kits in the shop, £9.50, and you get everything you need in there. But if you've got lots of beads at home, which I know that a lot of us have, then I'll tell you the ingredients, and you might be able to, from the kind of little tutorial that I'm doing this morning, you may be able to figure it out. The other thing you could do is buy one kit and then use up all the things that you make at home. So I'm just going to move all of these off to the side. I'm going to show you all the different colours as well. So we do these in a silvery colour, okay? This one's actually got a broken section there that I need to fix because it got dropped on the floor. So that's our silver. We've then got the red with the green there. We have got a nice gold one. And we've got a green with red. Love them all. My mum keeps them up all year. She doesn't take them down. So in the set, you get all of those beads. You also get a nice handout that's got step-by-step, really straightforward, easy to follow instructions there as well. And literally all you need to be able to do to make these is count. As long as you can count, I think it's to about over 28, which I hope that most of us have got. you can make a beaded bauble. You also need to be able to concentrate on it. So if you've got children, you're going to have to wait till they're in bed, because they can't interrupt you when you're doing this. Because if you miss out a few beads and you don't discover that until you've come all the way round the other side, you're going to be really annoyed. So make sure that you can concentrate when you're doing it. You also get in the set some cord or thread, I should say, and a needle as well. So all the materials and tools that you need, apart from a pair of scissors, like I say. The other thing that's good to have is a bead mat, because you're working with these tiny beads, so it's really good to have a bead mat. So the bauble size that we use is a 60mm bauble. Okay, so our pattern is set up for a 60mm bauble using size 11 seed beads. And as I have mentioned, I can't count more than 6. Well, I hope you can, Fahid, because you are you're not my accountant, but you're my friendly accountant. So I hope you can count to more than 6. So size 11 seed beads. Now, size 11 seed beads, what the number refers to, and I've mentioned this a lot of times if you've watched all of my live videos, is it refers to the amount of beads within an inch. So the bigger the number, the smaller the bead. A size 15 seed bead is smaller than a size 11 seed beads. Size 11 seed beads are generally a lot of projects use size 11s. It's the more kind of common size to use, really. Now, you can get different types of seed beads, and the ones that we have in our kits and we sell in the shop here are Japanese seed beads. They're a little bit more expensive, but they're a much better quality. I'm not saying that the Czech seed beads aren't good, because they really are, but you will get a more consistent size when you're working with Japanese seed beads, but you will pay for that. And it's important when you're doing projects like this that you have got consistent sizes, because if they do vary a lot, then it can make a problem with create a problem with the pattern. Okay, so what I've done, I've set up a needle already with the thread, okay? And I've laid out my beads on my mat here. Now, I am going to refer to my instructions, because it's been a while since I've made a beaded bauble. I've got to say. Now, what I tend to do is cut a manageable size of this. In the kit, you get 5 meters, which is plenty to make up a bauble, but you don't want to use the whole 5 meters, because it's going to make it quite difficult for you threading in and out. So I've kind of done a good arm's length, okay? And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to start by picking up 24. Is that in the way there? Let me move that. I don't want it sticking up in the way. I'm going to pick up 24 seed beads. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 19, 20. Oh, make sure it goes on. Do you see how I'm just picking them straight up with the needle on the mat? Really easy to do. So that's why the bead mats are really good. And we sell them for like £1.10p, I think it is. Right, let me just double check that. So it's really important for 8, 4, 8, 12, 16, 18, 24. Perfect. 4, 8, 7. Let me just double check. Yeah, brilliant. Okay. That's 16, 20, and that's 24. Right. Now, what we're going to do next is, what I need to do is I'm going to tie a knot in my thread, but I want to make sure that I'm leaving a tail at the end. So, can you see what I'm doing? I'm tying a knot, so I'm making that into a circle, but look at my beadwork's here, and my knot is here, but my thread is finishing here, and then this side, running that way, is where the needle is. The reason we do that is because we want to later be able to knot this end into our beadwork. Obviously, we haven't got any beadwork there yet, so what we'll do is we'll start to make up the project. Then what we'll do is we'll come back and we'll knot into the beadwork. So make sure that that's going where you need it to. Oops. Oh, wait a sec. I've got a bit of a fiddle there. So let's get that back. That little bead has escaped where it needs to be. Okay, there we go. And then we're going to tie a knot there. Now, you can adjust what I'm doing here depending on like the size of bauble and the size of beads that you're using. Once you've made one, you'll understand how that works. So we've got really big baubles like this, and we use bigger beads and do the same pattern. So as long as it's kind of working to the same scale, bead to bauble ratio as such. Okay, there we go. Now that is based on the fact that it's going to fit around the top of the bauble there, you see? So I can pull that and it sits on the top of that bauble. Okay, see how that sits around the top there. All right. Okay, now what we're going to do is we move away from the knot. So I'm just going to go through a few beads, move away from the knot to begin with. Then what we do is we're going to do this first section. So we're going to pick up 7 seed beads. Sorry, you on Facebook, you won't be able to see that. We're going to pick up 7 seed beads. And then we're going to link it in, leaving a space of 3 seed beads, so going through the 4th. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up 7 seed beads. I hold this in my finger and thumb like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's always going to be an odd number that you go through. I'm going to leave 3 and I'm going to go through the 4th. So my cord is coming out there. I've left 3 seed beads and I'm going through the 4th. This way we're going to add 6 little triangles like this all the way round. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to leave 3 seed beads, go through the 4th. So let me do that one. I'm obviously in today's session not going to be able to show you the whole thing, but what I do want to do is to show you 3, 4, 5. It's just to get you started with it really, to see if it's something that you're interested to do. You could always buy the kit from us, or you could just have a little go at home once you understand the sort of the method that I'm using here. So there's that one, and then I'm just going to turn that, pick up another 7, and then leave 3 seed beads, go through the 4th. And so if you do come across 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, if you do come across any beads that are a different size, bigger, smaller, just discard them, put them to one side. And then you should find that when you get round to this point, so you see I've put on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And then I'm coming out here, I've got my 3 seed beads, and then I can go back through the first triangle that I made. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So I'm going to leave my 3, and I'm going to go through the bottom of that triangle, and I'm going to come through 3 seed beads there. 1, 2, 3, 4 seed beads there. So what I'm going to end up doing is coming out the point, look at that, see? I'm coming out the point of the first triangle that I added, the first lot of 7 that I added, all right? Okay, I don't know whether I'm too close to YouTube actually. All right, so now the next step, so once we've added 7, we're going to add 11. And what we're basically doing is we're going round the whole thing. We're adding 7 here, then we're adding 11 to go round here, then we're adding our next row and our next row until we have this whole netting. So we're working around building it up like that. Okay, that's how we build up the pattern. Then what we're going to, then we decorate it. But it's important that each time you go through, you're coming out that point. And if I show you on the image here, this is in our handout. Can you see that? You see I'm coming out of the middle bead. So you're always adding on an odd number of beads. This is very similar to our beaded bead that we do as well in a kit. Okay, so let me add 11 and you can see how that's working. Let's get that out of the way. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11. Okay, so 11. So now what I'm doing is, if I look at my next triangle, I've got my 11 seed beads on. If I look at my next triangle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I'm going to go through the 4th seed bead, which is this top one, the middle one. So I'm going to go through, oops, there. And then when I pull that up, you can see that it's created the next triangle, okay? So then let's go again. Okay, so I've got 7 again. No, I haven't. I need 11, don't I? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. So let's pop that on. And then I'm going to go through the middle. So that's the 4th one in the triangle of the previous row. Pull that through. And there's our next one. You keep going fuzzy when you get too close with your beads. Yeah, it's not a great quality, Pauline, unfortunately. There we go. I'll hold it there. Maybe that's a bit better. Yeah, I think it isn't. I don't think that Facebook... I think that on YouTube it's a little bit of a better quality, but unfortunately on Facebook it's not a great quality. And also I need to invest in some good camera, a good camera that I can do some good videos for you all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11. There we go. So we continue like this all the way round, adding on 6 lots of 11 seed beads to make our next triangles, our next row of the netting, all the way around the piece. And you can see how that's starting to build up, okay? So once we've done that, we then step up again and we add on our next row. So our next row after our 11 is 15 seed beads. So we're going to add those on. So I keep building it like that all the way round. Now what I would like to do is, I'm not going to sit here and make that whole thing up with you. But hopefully you get the idea of how you do that. What I am going to do is show you how we'll then finish off this end, knotting it in, because it's quite a good thing to see how to do that. But just talking about the pattern before we do that. So like I say, you'll continue all the way round, adding on your netting, so increasing your number of beads all the way round. Once you get to the bottom, we then start decorating. So what we've done is we've added little sets of 5 seed beads to create this kind of little triangular fringe on the end there. Not a fringe, almost just like an edging really. And then where the beads come up to meet on the netting, and in the middle of the bottom part of the netting, we've added some dangles. See that? So we've added some lovely little dangles on there, and you could choose anything for those. So because we've done one in the middle and one higher up where the netting joins, it means that we've got 12 there. So we've got 12 points at which to add something. It's really nice to add. You can add Christmas charms and things on there as well that work nicely. Okay, so that's what you want to do to finish it off. But you could really play around with all sorts of ideas on the end there, really. Okay, so let me show you what we need to do when we're knotting this end, this cord end, back in. Right, let me take the needle off of that end. So this is where we started. So when you finish off a length, crystal beads would look lovely, Pauline. Absolutely they would. And they'd catch the light nicely in the Christmas lights as well, wouldn't they? Like I said, my mum keeps these up all year. She has them hanging from a light in the dining room in different colours, because you don't really need to do Christmassy colours. You could do any colours. Okay, so when you finish off your beadwork, or when you finish off a length of thread and you need to finish it off and then start a new one, this is how you would do it. So what you will do is you'll take that thread, and you'll thread into your beadwork. Where is it coming from? It's coming from that end, so I'm going to go this way. So you will thread into your beadwork, and then you'll tie a knot. So you'll go underneath the beads, which will create a little loop for you. You then send your needle through the loop, and you pull that tight in between beads, okay? So then I go back through the beadwork again, following the path that I've already made. Pull that tight underneath the beadwork, make my loop, and go through the loop and pull tight. So the knot is sitting in between. So it's sitting in there. It's sitting in between the beads where the thread's going through. I tend to do about 3 of those. So I'll knot, thread away, knot, thread away, knot, thread away, cut. Don't cut near a knot. So that's how you would finish off an end. And if you were adding a new thread in, you would do exactly the same. So you would thread yourself into the beadwork and leave yourself a tail again. Leave yourself a little tail. Tie a knot, work through, tie a knot, work through. And then get yourself positioned so you can continue. Then once you've done some beadwork and you've finished, you can then knot the other end back in. I hope that makes sense. So it's basically, you need to make sure you've got your beadwork there before you can start knotting the ends in to make sure it's nice and secure, okay? Once you have finished knotting it all up, you just need to make sure, obviously keep an eye that it does fit around that first section there. How many beads in the starting circle? I started off with 24 on this design because that fits around the bauble top, but you can adjust that. So Trudy, you could put them, make it bigger or smaller depending on your bauble size or the top of the bauble. What you would need to make sure with this pattern, where I'm using 6 sections, is that it is a multiple of 6, really. Otherwise, it's not going to fit on there, okay? You know, the beadwork isn't going to kind of work around and fit together, okay? But I do explain that at the beginning of the video, and you can watch this back at any point if you want to, okay? So that's the beaded bauble kit that we do. Now, I'm not going to show you how I make this one today, but the other one that we do is a netted bauble as well. So this is quite nice to do. Takes a lot more seed beads, takes quite a few more seed beads, and you can embellish it afterwards. So you can go over this whole thing and you can embellish it afterwards. Again, the kit for these are £9.50, but the nice thing about these is that it's it's just really, you know, it's just really effective, isn't it? With this one though, you don't work around like this, you're working this way, and you actually make up the whole netting off of the bauble first. So you make this whole sort of panel of netting, and then you bring it around the bauble and you zip it together. And you zip the top, zip the bottom, and zip the sides together with your thread. So that works really nicely. And it looks fantastic when it's all beaded up as well, with a bead in each of these sections. In the kit, we don't sell it like that with all those beads, but you can if you've got, your favourite, Mum. You can if you've got beads at home to fill it. And in the instructions, it shows you how to do that, okay? So there we go. That's our project today. Our Christmas baubles. Oh, I'm holding it too high for YouTube. I can't see what I'm doing on YouTube because I've got you guys on Facebook in front of me. So yeah, so they're the beaded baubles that we've had a little look at today. The kits can be purchased. I think they can be purchased from our website. Yes, I'll make sure that they can be at www.amysurman.com, or you can give us a call. I am currently in the process of making the shop COVID secure, so you can all start coming back in, hopefully, getting tape down and getting some panels made so you can come up and I can show you things and we can talk in a safe environment. So I hope you've enjoyed that today, everybody. Thank you for joining me. I will post this up on my page and up on YouTube So if you want to watch it back at any point, you can. But hopefully you've got enough information there to get you started having a play, and you understand how the process and how the method is put together for creating these nets that sit around your baubles. Okay, take care and have a lovely day. Thank you. Bye.